Courage is the ability to act in the face of fear. It's a quality that allows us to do what's right, even when difficult. Courage helps us stand up for ourselves and others when we feel intimidated or threatened. Developing courage is essential for living a purposeful and ethical life. Applying timeless Stoic insights can cultivate courage as an ingrained habit. By committing to our principles, embracing our identity, doing what's right, preparing for adversity, making decisions decisively, creating our circumstances, leading by example and living philosophically, we build our capacity for courage day by day. This video explores 8 ways to make courage a lasting habit using wisdom from the Stoics. Number 1. Commit to your principles. The ancient Stoics believed that living a virtuous life meant committing to timeless principles and values. Principles form the core of your character. They reflect what you believe to be fundamentally right and worthwhile. Before making courage a habit, you must identify the principles guiding you. What are your highest values? Think of traits like honesty, compassion, and wisdom. Define your core principles and write them down. Keep this list somewhere. You'll see it often to remind yourself of the virtues you aspire to live by. Refer back to it whenever you face difficult moral choices. Living by principles takes courage. There will be times when it feels easier to compromise your values, but the more you stick to your principles during adversity, the stronger your moral character becomes. Please don't abandon your principles when it's convenient. When you face pressure to act against your values, reflect on your principles. Stay focused on doing the right thing, even if there are short-term social consequences. The path of courage means rising above fear and doubt. By committing to live by your principles every day, you build the inner strength to stand tall in hard times. Your principles light the way like a moral compass. Trust them to guide you and believe that living with integrity is always the right path. Number 2, be exactly who you are. The Stoics believed that courage comes from being true to yourself. You build inner strength and bravery when you know your values and act authentically. Marcus Aurelius said, "To move freely, you must be free, and the only way to do this is by paying close attention to the person I am." Courage does not mean ignoring fear or being reckless. Rather, courage comes from following your inner compass over the external pressures of other people. It is about living your truths openly and without shame or compromise. The Stoics would say, the most dangerous life is one where we pretend to be something we're not. Many great leaders in history showed true courage by being exactly who they were. Rosa Parks refused to give up her bus seat and sparked the civil rights movement by following her conscience. So be brave by knowing yourself. Don't hide parts of you to please others. The Stoics believed that we all contain a spark of inner divinity when we are true to our nature. By boldly accepting all facets of your identity, you gain the courage to live freely and authentically. Number 3, do the right thing. The Stoics believed that virtue was the sole good. To them, courage meant having the strength of character to do the right thing, even when it was difficult. For the Stoics, the right thing meant acting following reason and virtue. They taught us to look within ourselves to determine the best action. Once we know the right thing to do, we must summon the courage to follow through with it. Building the courage to do the right thing starts with deeply committing to a virtuous life. We must move past fear and desire to act with wisdom and justice. It takes practice to develop moral courage. Start small by speaking up when you know something is wrong. Refuse to participate in unethical activities. Defend those who are treated unfairly. While these acts may seem minor, each helps build the habit of courage. There are inspiring examples of those who found the courage to do the right thing in difficult situations. Academic and activist Angela Davis courageously protested racial injustice and discrimination, even spending time in jail for her beliefs. Living a life of courage and consistently doing the right thing takes determination. The Stoics would tell us not to let fear or apathy stop us from acting with justice. With daily practice, we can make courage a habit. Number 4, Be ready for the calls. The Stoics believed that we should mentally prepare ourselves for challenges and difficulties that may arise. They understood that life often presents us with tough situations that require courage and resilience. By envisioning potential scenarios, we can rehearse how we might respond calmly and rationally. For example, we can imagine what we would do if we lost our job or became ill. Mentally walking through these hypotheticals allows us to confront our fears and develop the fortitude to handle adversity. When challenges inevitably arrive, those mentally rehearsed will be better positioned to respond skillfully. Their minds and emotions will be less reactive, allowing them to tap into their inner reserves of strength. With practice, courage can become an ingrained habit. The Stoics recommend getting ready rather than being caught off guard by the calls of life. Envisioning future difficulties can build the grit and tenacity to withstand the storms. Hardships may still shake us, but inner preparation provides a firm foundation to weather turbulent times. Number 5, make a decision. Being decisive is a core part of Stoic philosophy. The Stoics believed that making choices quickly with commitment and resolve helps build courage and strengthen character. Making decisions swiftly prevents overthinking things and getting stuck in analysis paralysis. Decisiveness shows that you have conviction in your principles and values. It demonstrates that you know your mind and can act on what you think is right. The Stoics would advise making decisions using logic and reason instead of emotions. Take time to gather information and reflect, but act on it with certainty once you've determined the right course. When you decide, cut off further deliberation and stick to it fully. Don't waffle or second-guess yourself. Follow through on your choices with purpose. When you make a firm decision and refuse to waver, you build your decisiveness muscle. With practice, quick and confident decision-making will start to feel natural. It reinforces the idea that you don't need anyone's approval or permission to live by your values. Making tough calls and sticking to them shows tremendous courage. It proves you have the strength to do what's required, even when difficult or unpopular. Decisiveness leads to self-confidence and greater independence. So, be willing to make hard choices based on your principles. Once you've committed, act with certainty and don't look back. Making decisions and consistently living by them will build your courage over time. Number 6, make your luck. The Stoics believed we should not leave things completely up to luck or fortune. Instead, we can take action to create opportunities and shape outcomes. As Seneca said, luck is what happens when preparation meets opportunity. Rather than passively waiting for good luck, we can prepare for favorable situations. We can develop skills, expand our networks, and put ourselves in a position to capitalize when chances arise. For example, aspiring musicians can practice relentlessly, connect with industry insiders, and consistently put themselves in front of audiences. When the timing is right, they are ready to seize the opportunity. We can also be courageous in making our luck. Entrepreneurs often have to take bold risks to get their businesses off the ground. Leaders shape their destinies by courageously pursuing their vision. The Stoics remind us that we can rely on our inner strength and determination, rather than external circumstances, to create meaningful lives. With courage and wisdom, we can generate our good fortune. Number 7, create the majority. The Stoics weren't afraid to go against the majority opinion. They believed in living according to their principles, even if it meant standing alone. Galileo was condemned for his belief that the earth revolved around the sun, which went against the majority view at the time. He continued publishing his findings despite the risk to his freedom and reputation. It takes courage to go your way when everyone disagrees with you. Start small by voicing your opinions respectfully, even if they contradict the majority. Don't be swayed by peer pressure when your principles are on the line. Build up your independence gradually. Remember that major shifts begin with individual acts of courage. By leading by example, you can inspire others. Don't let fear of ridicule or failure stop you from speaking and living your truth. The majority isn't always right. Number 8, live your philosophy. You can't call yourself a Stoic if you don't live by Stoic principles daily. It's not enough to simply read the ancient Stoic philosophers and agree with their teachings. You have to put those teachings into practice through your actions. The best way to build courageous habits is by facing each day to live your values to the fullest. When challenges arise, take a moment to reflect on what a role model like Marcus Aurelius or Epictetus would do. How would they face adversity with poise, act with integrity, or stay committed to justice? Visualize these Stoic sages as your guides. The Stoics believed philosophy was not meant to be theoretical, but practical. Seneca urged his students to imprint wise maxims on their minds and put them to use in the workshop of their soul. Epictetus said philosophy was meant to be an art of living. He even suggested focusing on one Stoic principle weekly to practice and improve. By consciously applying Stoic teachings to your daily life, you'll start replacing old habits with new ones. Instead of acting on anger, you'll take a pause. Rather than chasing pleasure, you'll pursue meaningful work. These small acts of courage add up through regular practice, creating fundamental character shifts. Gradually, Stoic principles will shape not just your actions, but your essence. This is what it truly means to live your philosophy. Your values are not abstractions, but guideposts. Each choice you make expresses your principles in action. It's not enough to call yourself brave. You must be brave. The proof lies not in what you say, but in how you live. In conclusion, living courageously has many benefits. You can take bold, purposeful action, speak your truth even when difficult, set a moral example for others, and create the life you want. The Stoics knew that courage was a choice and a habit. It comes from sticking to your principles, standing up for what's right, seizing opportunities, and believing in yourself. Anyone can cultivate courage by consistently applying philosophical ideals to their daily lives. You now have 8 ways to make courage a habit. It's up to you to put them into practice. Choose something small today that scares you or takes you out of your comfort zone. Build momentum by taking one courageous action at a time. With commitment and consistency, living bravely will become second nature. You have the power to make courage a lifelong companion. If you enjoyed this video, remember to subscribe, leave your comment, and share your insights. We look forward to hearing about your transformation journey. And remember, change starts with a single step. Thank you for watching.